Hey, beautiful souls. I'm Sarah, your soul oracle, deconditioning coach, and Mira here at Soul Heart Intuitive Coaching. And this is your energy update for the week of December 7th to December 13th. So this week, something sacred is stirring, but it's not loud. It's not chaotic. It's not demanding. It's soft. It's subtle and it's steady. It's the kind of shift that doesn't shout to get your attention. It whispers to the part of you that already knows. And if you're still enough, you'll feel it. The cosmos aren't asking you to push this week. They're inviting you to pause, to notice, to create a container for the dreams that are quietly becoming real. This isn't about urgency, it's about alignment. And here's what's rising through the stars this week. On December 7th, Mercury in Scorpio is going to trine Saturn and Pisces. So spiritual structure is here. This is the time to give your dreams a home, one that can hold the full weight of what you're ready to live. So make sure you plan with soul, you speak with clarity, and you lay the groundwork for something that actually lasts. On December 8th, Mars in Sagittarius is going to square Saturn and Pisces. So if you're hitting a wall, it might not be a block. It might be a sacred redirection. Rest doesn't mean retreat. Stillness doesn't mean that you're stuck. So let your frustration reveal where your real power is ready to rise. On December 10th, Neptune is going to station direct in the sign of Pisces. The fog is going to begin to clear. Creativity is going to start to return with a sense of clarity. And you might feel your intuition sharpening, your visions expanding, and your next steps starting to take form. So let the dream move through you. Also on December 10th, Mercury in Scorpio is going to oppose Uranus and Taurus. So there's going to be a sense of mental lightning coming in. Insight can strike you fast, but don't let your mouth run faster than your heart. Make sure you pause before you react. What truth is ready to break you open, not break you down? On December 11th, Mercury in Scorpio is going to trine Neptune and Pisces. Your words want softness now, so let them rise from your soul and don't stress out about it. Write, meditate, and let yourself drift, and let your imagination do the heavy lifting today. On December 11th, Mercury is going to enter the sign of Sagittarius again. So bold ideas are going to come back, big truths, expansive thinking. But here's the thing, not every idea needs to become a megaphone. So let inspiration lead, not exaggeration. On December 13th, Mercury in Sagittarius is going to sextile Pluto in Aquarius. Your voice has depth, your truth has weight. So use your words to heal, not to defend, and let clarity serve connection. So let this be the week you stop rushing and you start rooting. You're not here to hustle your healing, you're here to honor it. And if you felt like you're in between worlds, not quite here, not quite there, know this, that space in between, it's holy ground. This isn't a breakdown, it's a blueprint. So let go of the rush. Let your nervous system breathe and give yourself permission to build something real from the inside out. The new you doesn't need to be performed, it just needs to be lived. So take a breath. You're not behind. You're right on time. And everything is unfolding exactly as it should. You're not leaving the path. You are the path. So, energy for the week based on cards this week. We have three cards: Fire Element Desire, Gemini I Think, and Air Element Communicating. So, this week is definitely about communicating with the card for Gemini and the card for Air. The card for Fire is Desire. So, you need to communicate what it is that you want. So we have a lot of planets in Sagittarius right now. So that those both have that has that fire element within it. So allow that fire element to propel and to create what it is that you want. What it is that you want to communicate, what it is that you think. Use those energies to create that plan and that structure of what it is that you want so that as you move forward into 2026 and beyond, you can start to implement exactly what it is that you have in mind for your future going forward. So, this is a time for you to get clarity and to really think about what it is that you want. Because most likely there is something going on in your life, in any area of your life, that is not particularly what you desire. So, how can you use that desire to help propel you forward? And how can you clarify that as a result? So, I've pulled cards for each of the zodiac signs. Messages, they're layered. So, our sun and rising sign is where the gold lives. So, pay attention to that, as that's where your future self is whispering through the veil. So, let's tune in. Remember, this is not to control the outcome, but it's to mirror back what your soul already knows is ready to shift. So let this be your pause, your anchor, and your reminder that this energy isn't here to break you, it's here to recalibrate you. So, like always, we're going to start off with Aries. Aries, your card is Guardian. Somebody is looking out for you right now, and it may not seem like it, but we have guides, angels, our loved ones who are in spirit. We have people who are there watching out for us. They're here to make sure that we are headed down the right path. This is a time for you to count on those guardians and those loved ones to help move you in the direction that you need to go in. But the thing is with guardians is that you have to ask. So make sure that you ask for help this week when you need it. As those loved ones, they want to help you, they want to assist you. But remember, you have to ask. Taurus, your card this week is boundaries. Either you need some boundaries or you need to extend boundaries outward to somebody in your life. Boundaries are really important and they're not something that is given enough attention and focus because oftentimes we think that our boundaries are somebody else's problem. We have spoken what our boundaries are and why aren't they respecting them? But boundaries is a process for us and for the other person. Oftentimes we can forget what our boundaries are. We can let our boundaries down. We can just get lost in the minutia of life. Boundaries are something that is a process, but it doesn't mean that you speak your boundaries and then other people are expected to pick them up in return. So keep in mind that your focus this week is boundaries. What form does that take for you? And how can you use that to help you in your healing? Gemini, your card this week is receive healing. You need to ask for healing from somebody. You need to receive some form of healing. Now, you could do it yourself. That would be perfectly fine and acceptable. But the energy that's going on right now, it's not necessarily something that can easily be done by somebody, by yourself. It's easier and you get a different perspective and a different opinion if you get it done from somebody else. Now, that doesn't mean that you then can't carry that healing forward on your own, but you need to start the process of healing with somebody else. So get some healing work from somebody else this week. It could even just be as simple as a conversation or walking with somebody else through nature, but you need to have a partner there with you so that you can start the healing process or continue the healing process. Cancer, your card this week is breathe. Oftentimes, it can be really easy to be impulsive. Now, there may be times where that doesn't seem like that for you, but there's a lot of fire in the sky right now. And that can make it easy to get kind of lost in the impulsivity of things. So make sure you take a breath before you have a conversation, before you react. Take a breath and think about things. Let that water and that flow move within you as it's here to help guide you. But you have to take a breath and take that air in so that you can process what it is that's going on. So, Cancer, take a breath this week. Leo, your card this week is ruminate. So, this piggybacks a little bit off of what I was just talking about with Cancer. This is a time for you to think, to reflect. Now, Mercury is out of retrograde, but we're still in the shadow period. You learned things during that time period that maybe you haven't given the full method of reflection and full attention to. This is a time for you to use that information that you learned that during that time period. And how can you use that to your advantage? How can you move forward with that information? Ruminating is something that is often given a negative connotation as it means that you can't just react impulsively. But we're not meant to react impulsively. We're meant to think. We're meant to ponder. We are meant to ruminate those things. Oftentimes, the things that come up in the moment are our triggers. They're our shadows. They're the things that are bothering us. When if we take a second to pause, we might just make a different decision. So take a second to pause this week so that you can make a different decision going forward. Virgo, your card this week is flow. It is important that you go with the flow this week. Move in the direction that the universe seems to want you to go in. It can be difficult and it can be challenging as you're going to want to critique your journey down this sense of flow. Try not to. Just move with it. Allow things to unfold as they will. You will get information as a result of that, but you need to just go in the direction that the universe wants you to go in right now. So just move with the flow this week, Virgo. Libra, your card this week is unconditional love. Pay attention to how you love yourself. How can you love yourself to the best version of yourself? Universal love is something that is often not given enough attention. Even if we do love ourselves, there's that higher state of love that we can always work towards. You want to work towards that higher state. It might not seem like that would necessarily be the best place to go, where you just love everybody unconditionally, but the world needs it and you need it more than you think. So allow yourself to work towards that goal of universal love this week. You never know what that sense of love could bring to you going forward. Scorpio, your card this week is intention. It's time for you to set an intention, Scorpio. You need to head in the direction of that intention. So work with it, move with it, see what blocks, what shadows, what triggers, what things come up from the depth that may prevent you from moving towards that intention. Work with that. You can reach your goal, you can reach that intention, but you have to move with the energy and see what comes up as a result of your intention. So move in the direction of your intentions this week and do the work that is associated with them so that you can achieve them. Sagittarius, your card this week is learning. Pay attention to something that brings you joy, something that you want to learn more about. It may be that you go on an adventure and you learn something about places that you haven't been before. Use that spirit, use that sense of learning, that sense of wisdom that is just naturally inherent in you, and try and move in that direction. It's important that you learn something new and that you study something, because in the process of that, you may just meet something that you haven't even realized before was important to you. So go on that learning journey. It's one that you won't regret. Capricorn, your card this week is respect. What do you need to do so that you can respect yourself and the things that you respect? Respect is a word that is very Saturnian, which is something that rules your sign. Saturn is all about respect. You need to have respect for authority. You need to have respect for boundaries. You need to have respect for that sense of wisdom that can come up through you. Respect the things in your life that are important. And if they don't deserve your respect, then maybe it's time that you take a look at those and possibly move past them. You may even have to get rid of them at some point in time. Not necessarily right now, but have a sense of respect for what is going on in your life right now and look at it through a clear lens, if at all possible. Aquarius, your card this week is positive minded people. Spend time around people who have a different perspective than you. Positivity is not something that is inherent to all people, but positivity is important as sometimes it can get us out of our heads and into our hearts. So spend time around those people who don't just look at the humdrum of life and everything that's going wrong and how they're able to spin it, as it could just help you spin something in your life that seems to be going wrong into a different thought process. And through that thought process and that shift, you might be able to change it for yourself. And Pisces, your card this week is reawakening. Reawaken. So you are going through a reawakening process. It's okay to fall asleep at times. This work can be exhausting at times. Doesn't mean that it's not important, but it means that sometimes you just need to get back on the horse and try again. So try again this week. Go through the awakening process. What comes up for you that is different than the last time you went through it? As most likely, there are shifts and there are changes in terms of what has been going on in your life. So go through that reawakening process. Remember, you won't regret it. So you're not lost, you're in between stories. So let these messages find a place in your body, even if they don't make sense yet, because sometimes the most powerful knowing comes in the quiet after the card is pulled. So let these messages that you received anchor your next step, even if you can't see the full map yet. Our sun and rising signs are layered codes, so let them sit, let them settle. And if you're craving deeper cosmic guidance and spiritual anchoring, come join me inside the Soul Keys Temple, my signature monthly membership. We move with the moon, we look at the transits, and we anchor into the astrology of the moment through live sessions, reflection prompts, and potent transmissions. It's where soul meets structure and where you're reminded that your path is sacred, even when it's messy. You can find full details at www.soulheartintuitivecoaching.com, and you can always book a personal soul session there with me if you want to go deeper one on one. I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, and the magic will also continue there. So here's to a week of sacred pivots, anchored clarity, and deep inner resonance. So stay tuned in, stay luminous, stay you, and I will talk to you next week.